I put 20 million bucks up. I said, I'll buy this property. My price is 235. Anybody that comes in over me has to close in 10 days because I will. So I set the terms and kind of squeezed the marketplace out of the asset, knowing that I was going to add $100 million of Bitcoin.
Hello everyone, this is BTC Insight and welcome to yet another deep dive into BTC Insight. Before we jump in, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't yet. You won't want to miss this. Grant's introduction to Bitcoin didn't follow the usual path. He wasn't persuaded by a friend, a YouTube video, or a crypto enthusiast trying to convince him of the future of decentralized money. Instead, he bought some Bitcoin almost on a whim, and once he saw it move, once he saw that number go up, his natural competitiveness kicked in. He says, "My onboarding wasn't education, it was ownership." And that's an important lesson for investors. Too often people spend years reading, researching, debating, and doubting. Grant's philosophy is the opposite. Buy something, experience it, and then you'll want to learn more. Winning creates curiosity. Ownership creates commitment.
Bitcoin today. And then what I did was I started, when I saw it start watching this, doing its thing. See, my onboarding was ownership. It wasn't an education, which is, I've always believed you earn and then you learn. Once you earn something, once you earn it, you had a score with it. Once you win, then you become more curious about how to win again. And that's what happened for me in Bitcoin. I didn't read the Bitcoin standard. I didn't spend 100 hours on it. I basically had an experience that was positive. Nobody tried to talk me into it. And as I paid attention to its price volatility, I started becoming more and more interested in it. I've owned, I own 14,000 apartments that we've put together over the last 25 years. And I started slowly tinkering with the idea of using some of the cash flow, Scott, from the real estate to buy Bitcoin on a monthly basis. And then I started playing with, the calculations of what if I had converted all that money. I've done extremely well in real estate. Lots of cash flow over long periods of time, slowly just starts going up, because of inflation. And I looked at, what if I did a little bit? What if I did it all? And I started putting it in some of these calculators that show you, hey, if I'd have done, like I think over the last 12 years, I distributed myself about 1.6 million times 12, whatever that is, a month.
Yeah, we'll now do the back calculation for Bitcoin, obviously.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, I'm worth like I think it was $4 billion or $6 billion or something and I wouldn't have done anything.
Doing zero work.
No work. All I would have done was convert something that wasn't mine, fiat, into something else that was better, which is all I've been doing with fiat anyway. My whole life, since I was 30 years old, I've been converting fiat to real estate. That was, I believe, better than the paper, right?
Yeah.
And that's really what I was never against Bitcoin. I was like, I don't understand a lot of these cryptos. I always said, I think the one that wins is Bitcoin. I don't really understand them enough. And until I do understand it, I'm not going to promote it to anybody. And now this year we met with Gary, myself, and Michael Saylor met, and I'm like trying to figure out how to put the real estate and the Bitcoin together. And everybody's telling me, oh, put your real estate on the blockchain and it's complicated. I've heard that for 3 or 4 years. I wish I'd have never heard that, dude, because I would have done what I'm doing right now 4 years ago. And this year we put together, we're on our 5th fund where we buy real estate. We had Bitcoin. We merged the two together in an organized LLC. And then we just wait for both of them to do their little thing. We started out like that, right? I started out taking real estate that was cash flow positive and basically just taking the passive income from the real estate, converting it to a little piece of Bitcoin, then a little more and a little more. And then in January, we took a new asset that we bought. It was they wanted 88 million. I got the deal for 72 million. We bought it 30% below replacement cost. And what we did was we just took the difference that I saved between the 72 and the 88 and filled it back up with Bitcoin. It's still cash flowed. I think it was a 4 or 4.5% cash flow with the full load together. Now, I would have gotten a little more cash flow if I'd have left the Bitcoin out, but big deal. What's the difference between, I'd rather a 4% cash flow with the Bitcoin than a 5.5% without it. So we were very conservative. I showed this to Saylor and he says, that's a pussy fund. That's not a fund. But we did the first one at 85.15. Our second and third ones were 75.25. Our fourth one was 50.50. And our our fifth one is 1/3 debt, 1/3 real estate equity, and 1/3 Bitcoin. So this last one, now this is in a period of 5 months. This most recent one is the largest real estate Bitcoin deal ever done on planet Earth. It's a $235 million trophy, best in class, 366 units in Boca Raton, $235 million asset. And we added $100 million of Bitcoin to it.
One thing that made Grant pay attention was when he ran the numbers. But he looked back at his own career, decades of distributing millions in cash flow from his properties. He asked the what-if question. What if, instead of converting all that cash flow into real estate, I had converted it into Bitcoin? The numbers were staggering. By his own calculation, he could have been worth billions more, simply by holding Bitcoin alongside his real estate. And that realization made him take action. But it wasn't about abandoning real estate, it was about combining the two. Because while real estate is stable, predictable, and cash flow positive, Bitcoin offers asymmetric upside, the potential to multiply wealth dramatically in ways traditional assets can't.
We bought the real estate. Okay, we bought the real estate, closed it out of bankruptcy, grabbed it out. You need to be under replacement costs, or there needs to be some exit story to support the Bitcoin. Okay, so it's got to be some exit story where you're like, I'm going to get back to replacement costs and I fill it up, and I'm still cash flow positive. So we bought this trophy from Blackstone bankruptcy. Blackstone wanted to buy it, but because they were the debt on the deal, they couldn't. So they had to give the marketplace first right. So we went and grabbed it using a fairly complicated process called a stalking horse in the bankruptcy courts. And I put $20 million up. I said, I'll buy this property. My price is $235. Anybody that comes in over me has to close in 10 days because I will. So I set the terms and kind of squeezed the marketplace out of the asset, knowing that I was going to add $100 million of Bitcoin. So the property cash flowed, when we bought it, it cash flowed, I think it was 4 3/4 without the Bitcoin. And then we added the Bitcoin to the organization. So we merged it into an LLC as one entity. They're not separate, they're merged. And that asset still cash flows at 2.5%. But I have trophy real estate that I can exit with a condo development, pick up $100 million, and I got $100 million of Bitcoin sitting on the balance sheet. And Scott, I figured out how to get an $80 million depreciation the day I buy the asset, because we accelerate the depreciation on the 235. We'll pick up about $80 million worth of depreciation, by the way, that still owns this Bitcoin. So I figured out how to buy the Bitcoin, get the cash flow, and get a big tax write-off that purchase. All I got to do now is take this public, and then I'll get another multiple on the NAV to the next piece, because I can. Sure. If I pull off the public piece, then you're liquid 5 days a week.
Right.
But in the interim, we never over leverage anything. I've been buying real estate for 30 years. I've never lost a piece of real estate, and I've never lost money on a piece of real estate, because the only way to lose them is to pick them bad and to over leverage them. And we're very selective. We have 14,000 units. We're only levered to about 40% across $5 billion of real estate. And it's class A shit. So it's great real estate. In this case, we bought this piece of property for $235. We already have a standing agreement at $300 million with a group that wants to take it and condo it. So I'm sitting on $75 million. I can exit, in the next 18 months. One exit. Two exit is I don't bring somebody else to condo it. I condo it myself,
Right.
and sell the 366 units for $1 million each. Then we pick up $135 million for our investors, flip off the real estate, sell it, pay our capital gains, and we own our Bitcoin for free. Third option is cancel both of those other two plans, improve the property, increase the NOI, put debt on the asset, return the capital. Remember, we got $100 million of Bitcoin, a $235 million asset. Either one of those can move, okay? Like if the Bitcoin moves 10%, dude, I'm picking up like 30% on the value. Just wait for the next 12, 15, 18, 24 months, and I have an asset worth $450 million with no debt. I can go take let's say I go take a 45% loan out against both assets merged with cash flow, return all the capital to the investors, and we still own both assets without selling them. Fourth exit, put this together with, I only have 45 assets that I control. Put this together with any of the other ones that we have Bitcoin on the balance sheet, pull them together, bring them into an up-seat, not a REIT, and bring them to the marketplace to go public with them. And then people have liquidity 5 days a week.
Grant Cardone's journey into Bitcoin isn't about abandoning what made him successful. It's about evolving, adapting, and finding ways to merge old world wealth with new world technology. For him, real estate and Bitcoin are not competitors. They are partners. One provides stability, the other provides exponential upside. Together, they create an asset class that could redefine wealth building in the 21st century. That's it for today's look into BTC Insight. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to stay on top of all the latest insights. Keep questioning, keep learning, and we'll catch you in the next one.